In the following discourse, I would like to talk about Buddhism. This is one of the most beautiful religion for self-evolution. This is the religion which acknowledges the potential of a man to become God. And it has been rightly documented and practiced in a large area of the world. Approximately 6% of the population follow Buddhism. But as I told you, my teachings may shake up many perceptions, and this I do not want to do to hurt you, but this I need to do to take you closer to God. I see many misinterpretations of Buddhist teachings, and this is because right interpretation of Sanskrit words have not been done. Before we begin to talk about Buddhism, let me remind you that Buddhism is an offshoot of Sanatan Dharma only. But it was such a wonderful religion that it had wiped out Sanatan Dharma almost completely. The cities like Mathura, Ayodhya, Varanasi, which are a stronghold of Hindu religion, had been totally engrossed into Buddhism in 4th, 5th and 6th century AD. It was after the rise of Adi Shankaracharya that Sanatan Dharma began to flourish again. And unfortunately, post 5th century AD, there had been enmity between the Hindu followers and Buddhist followers. The evolution of Buddhism, if you get into details of Theravada and Vajrayana, you will see that the evolution itself was due to amalgamation of the middle path and various teachings of Shivaism and Shaktiism. The Tantra meditation found enormous acceptance in the rising Buddhism. The rise of Buddhism should not be considered as an isolated event. 500 BC, when Buddha has been presumed to have taken birth, was a wonderful time frame. 500 BC is the time span when Confucius took birth in China. This was the same time span when Socrates was born in Greece. This was the same time span when Romans built the biggest temple of Mercury. You will see that in Sanatan Dharma, the word Buddha does not talk about a person, but it talks about a planet. And this is the planet which is nearest to Sun. Buddha does not mean a person, but it is the penultimate stage till which you can go. Post this milestone, you cannot go further and amalgamate with Ra. Ra is the sun god, the supreme god, the Vishnu. Vishnu has been defined as Sirodakshaya Vishnu. He is the same god as Ra. So Buddha is not a person but a milestone to attain by your 100% efforts. Beyond Buddha is the impermanence. Beyond Buddha, all the laws begin to fail. Beyond Buddha, you do not go further, but you are pulled in further. Beyond Buddha, you don't take effort. Any effort being taken at the stage of Buddha is a resistance. You do not do anything, you just let things happen. This is the place when Ra consumes you and Ram occurs. In my book, I have talked in detail about the linkage of Sanatan Dharma and Buddhism. At this stage, I would briefly give you some hints. Buddha was born in Kapila Vastu. Kapila Vastu has two words, Kapila and Vastu. Vastu means hands. That means that Buddha was born by the hands of sage Kapila. And who was sage Kapila? Sage Kapila was one of the biggest masters of Vedanta school and had initiated Mimamsa school. This necessarily means that Kapila had a big role in defining the character of Buddha. The full name of Buddha is Siddhartha Gautam Buddha. Siddhartha is again comprising of two words, Siddhi and Artham. This means in order to achieve. Siddhi means achievement. Artham means in order. So in order to achieve, that is your resolve. Gautama means the best amongst cow. Where does this word cow come from? In Greek mythology, there is a character called Gaia, who is symbol of Mother Earth. The word Gaia got evolved into Gai, which is Hindi word or Sanskrit word for cow. In one of the myth, it is said that King Prithi chased upon goddess Earth, and goddess took the form of a cow. This necessarily means that cow is symbolism used for Mother Earth. So what do you mean when we talk about Gautama, which means the best amongst the cows? It necessarily means a stage or a person who has been in peace with the external environment, who has aligned completely with Prakriti. Please understand, your goal could be Purusha or Shiva, but the path can always be Prakriti. You have to align your energy with Prakriti in order to elevate yourself. So the word Siddhartha Gautam Buddha is encrypted in nature. And when we talk about Buddhism, let us understand the meaning of those Sanskrit words in Sanatan Dharma, so that if there is any mistake in interpretation, we can correct the same. In the book, there is a descriptive explanation of all that I am saying. You will find that Siddhartha Gautam Buddha was born to a king named Suddhodhan. This word comprises of Suddho, which means purification. The name Suddhodhan as father of Siddhartha Gautam Buddha simply suggests that such an stage can only be achieved after initiation, after a process similar to baptism. In baptism, we cleanse ourselves with holy water. We take a rebirth, and the cleaning of senses has been described in all religion, including Islam and Christianity. While we start to decode Buddhism, please understand this global event happening in 5th century BC. And you will see similar references in all the civilizations. Contradictory to present perception about Krishna as being an easy god, as being a naughty god. Of course, he has these characteristics. But the way and path to achieve Krishna was not easy. It was the toughest. The killing of demons by Krishna was symbolically representation of liberation from many bondages. For example, Krishna killed Putna, and this was an example to liberate yourself from your mother's milk. And in the series of demons that he killed, one had to liberate himself from various bondages. The similar thing you can find about Hercules, who derives from Hera and Krishna are similar, both sign of wisdom. My point behind telling you all this was that Krishnaism was very, very tough, and so was Jainism. Both the religions were extremely tough for a follower to follow. The liberation from various bondages, as explained by the story of Krishna, were tough tasks. In Chinese civilization, you will find that peacock mythology was put against Buddhist mythology. Similarly, you will see a very interesting event happening in Arabian Peninsula during the similar time frame. You will see that Moses was very popular the Torah was written and Moses was considered as their prophet. Certainly, some people came back claiming their claim on a particular land, suggesting that they were followers of Abraham. Till this time, Abraham was almost forgotten, and the story of Abraham got popularity and focus after the rise of Moses. If you decode Buddhism myth to myth, story to story, you will find a great similarity between the life story of Gautam Buddha and Ram. The story of Buddha and Ram are identical, and this is in close comparison to the event that happened in Arabian Peninsula. So the teachings of Buddhism in 5th century BC was a global event. Confucius, Socrates, Temple of Mercury, rise of Abraham in the midst of popularity of Moses, and the birth of Gautam Buddha. So this was a global event. And what was the teaching that took shape of such a brilliant religion? We will see that in the next discourse. Enough for today. Thank you.